City soon, then this is the only video you need to watch if you're planning a trip here, because I cover everything you need to know, including things not to do like this, and even scams to avoid. I'm Sarah, a licensed New York City tour guide, and I have gathered my most valuable insights from my past 100 YouTube videos all in one place to share my expert advice on how to navigate the city. So whether you are planning your first trip to the Big Apple or you're a seasoned visitor, this video will provide you with insider tips that you won't find anywhere else. If you want a deeper insight into each section we're covering, please be sure to check out the full-length individual videos where those sections came from. Those will all be linked below. So let's dive into the ultimate New York City guide, starting with 3 hacks that will absolutely optimize your trip. Number 1, vacation planning. If you want something more customized, we actually can design a beautiful itinerary for you in our vacation planning services. All of that will be linked below. Hack number 2, seated. This is a way that you can save crazy amounts of money on dining in New York City, up to 40%. And if you use my code right here, then you can save $15 off of your first meal in addition to all the other savings. Use it, it's nuts. Number 3, Sonder. Okay, you're looking for a place to stay. Well, Sonder is a great mix between an Airbnb and a hotel, and it's way cheaper than a hotel and way nicer than an Airbnb. Plus, you don't have to pay the hotel tax in New York City, so you actually end up saving money. I have a bonus hack for you, and it has to do with that sound you hear. I don't know if you can hear it. Lucas, add that in. Oh my God, it's a helicopter, what? Blade is a helicopter service that you can take from any airport in New York City to Manhattan. The cost for this helicopter trip is $198. It takes about 8 minutes to go from the airport to Manhattan. Now you're probably thinking, $198? That is so expensive. If you do a helicopter tour, it's around the same amount of time, and it costs even more than $198 if you use my referral code for $50 off. So it actually only costs you about $150 to take an amazing helicopter ride from the airport to Manhattan, which will take you about 8 minutes in the helicopter. And by the way, if you're not traveling between the hours of 12 midnight and 3 a.m., it will never take you less than like 45 minutes at minimum to get from an airport in New York to the city. And convenient because it saves you time and allows you to do more with your vacation. These are things you absolutely need to add to your New York City bucket list. There's no better way than starting your day here at RiseNY. I love this spot. It's the combination between an interactive museum and a soaring ride through New York's past and present. Cool thing about this museum is we're going to go through history, music, entertainment, fashion, all different types of categories. And I just like that because you kind of get everything in one here. All right, listen, this is important for you to know. When you're going through Rise, there's all these different QR codes around different exhibits, and if you scan it, then you get additional content and additional information, but there's tons of other really awesome information everywhere. Oscar, hello. Hey, I'm gonna bring you somewhere that no one else can go. Come on. I'm just kidding, it's part of the exhibit. It's the Broadway section. We got the Lion King, which by the way, I used to work at, in case you didn't know, I sometimes talk about it. I actually used to work on Broadway. We are waiting for the ride to begin, and while we wait, I wanted to share an exciting announcement with you. So to thank you guys for watching this video, I wanted to give you, a discount, because who doesn't like to save money? So use this code right here to save some money and use that money for something amazing. What, like a bacon, egg, and cheese? Buy yourself a nice coffee. New York's expensive. You gotta save the money where you can, right? And you don't wanna miss Rise, it's the best. We just finished the ride. I love it. I've done it so many times. Every single time, it's so fun. It's soaring. So if you've ever been to like Disney soaring, it's similar to that, except you fly over the most famous sites in New York City. And the other cool thing is as you pass certain experiences, there's certain scents associated with it. For example, when you go over Central Park, it smells like grass. It's really awesome. You gotta see the iconic sights. And I have designed a tour just for that. My Musty Manhattan tour brings you to all of the iconic sites in Midtown Manhattan, including Grand Central, Times Square, the New York Public Library, Rockefeller Center, St. Patrick's Cathedral, Saks Fifth Avenue. And then at the end of the tour, you actually get dropped off at Rockefeller Center, and you can add on tickets to Top of the Rock and then actually get that experience too. It is literally every single thing that you've seen in the movies and every single thing you've read in books, blogs, magazines, Instagram, all in 2 hours consolidated so you get, you knock it all off your list. And that is what my Musty Manhattan tour is. Also, if you're not able to join the in-person tours, I'm very excited to announce that I actually now have video and audio tours that you can do on your own time when you're here in New York, or you can do them from home. You can download them right on Thatch. I'll put that link below. It's a pretty cool way to learn more about New York and explore this fabulous city. You gotta do a Broadway show. New York's top attraction is actually Broadway. Broadway shows are amazing. I have several recommendations. First off, I just want to talk about Moulin Rouge. This recently won 10 Tony Awards. You can see that sign there. It seriously is one of the best musicals I've seen in a very long time. It's great for anyone because they incorporate a lot of modern music, so even the type of person that maybe doesn't love theater would like this show. Other classics are The Lion King. I adore The Lion King. Also, Book of Mormon is hilarious, absolutely. You will laugh so hard. I will say though, if you're offended easily, I would not recommend Book of Mormon. There's a lot of swearing. There's actually a whole song where they just say the F word over and over and over again. And then also Wicked. Wicked is a story of the Wizard of Oz witches, but Tony Awards is like the Oscar of theater, if you're not sure what a Tony Award is. And winning 10? Pretty solid. Next up, I recommend going on a classic Harbor Line cruise. We're doing their fall foliage cruise today, which takes you up the Hudson River and you see the beautiful colors of the trees. But they have a lot of different cruises to choose from lunch cruises to sightseeing to history and architecture, all different topics. It's really fun. They even have specialty ones for the holidays, jazz cruises with music. I'll link below all the different options they have, and you can just click on that. It will take you right to their site, make it really easy for you. It's just the best way to see the city is from the water, in my opinion. You should definitely visit an observation deck when you're here, and now we have 5 of them in New York City, so it can be a little bit overwhelming to choose which one to visit. You don't need to visit all of them when you come here. There are 2 ones that I really recommend. A little warning, they're both extremely crowded, unfortunately. So if you don't want to deal with any crowds at all, I do recommend going to Top of the Rock during the day. It's not that crowded and the views are still beautiful. The Edge has the highest outdoor observation deck in the Western Hemisphere. Now, tickets to this are $34. You can see a 360 view of the entire city, all the way stretching 80 miles out. There's a glass floor here, so you can look down many, many floors below, see taxis below you. It's kind of like you're floating in the air. And if you are a risk taker, then definitely add on City Climb. This is where you can actually climb on the exterior of the building with harnesses. The other one that's worth visiting is Summit. What they're known for is being the 4th tallest skyscraper in New York City. They also are completely covered with mirrors on the interior. This is crazy. It's all the way at the ceiling too. And the view of the city, oh my God. Now I could go on forever with all of the great things that you can do here, and you can learn even more about that in my New York City travel guides on things to do. But the reality is that there are some things that you should skip. Now, some of these things I'm about to talk about are famous attractions, so keep watching if you don't want to waste your time on them. The Empire State Building is easily one of the most recognizable buildings here in New York. It's been featured in countless movies. You probably recognize it from King Kong. TripAdvisor, right over there, says it's the #1 attraction in the US. So there's a lot of signs that say like, this is a spot you need to visit, this is the spot you need to visit, but is that really the case? Well, here's the thing. If you're going to do an observation deck, and that's why most people go to the Empire State Building, is because of the observation deck, and also it's the Empire State Building. The problem is, when you look out of the Empire State Building, you can't see the Empire State Building, and that's such a classic New York skyline element that missing the Empire State Building kind of dilutes the quality of the experience. So instead, I have a few recommendations for you. #1, you could do Top of the Rock or Summit or the Edge. Go to another observation deck, essentially, that has a great view. Or #2, and this is like an amazing hack, okay? Just do a rooftop bar, okay? And if you want a rooftop bar that has an amazing view of the Empire State Building, do either the Skylark or Refinery Rooftop. Both of them have classic views of the Empire State Building, and you won't have to pay the price of an observation deck ticket. Statue of Liberty. Yeah, it's not behind me, but this is where you get the tickets. This is Castle Clinton. This is where you enter the Statue of Liberty. Now, I have to warn you, there are some scams in this area. There are people that are selling you fake tickets. So do not buy tickets from someone on the street. Only get them from inside that fort that I just showed you. That's how you know they're real. Tickets to the Statue of Liberty are $31. It includes entrance onto the island and Ellis Island as well. The whole experience takes about 4 hours. It's not worth going to the Statue of Liberty. Once you get on the island, there really isn't much to do there anyway. They just actually reopened the Crown, which is kind of a cool experience, but you have to book those tickets like months in advance to even get there. A better option is doing a classic Harbor Line cruise that goes along the East River, past the Statue of Liberty, very close. It stops there. You can take amazing photos. You can have a nice cocktail, hey. And then it goes underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. That way you knock out a bunch of the sights of the city and you don't waste 4 hours going to the Empire State, the Statue of Liberty. The Charging Bull right there. Look at that beautiful masterpiece, huh? You know, you've seen it in movies like The Wolf on Wall Street, Hitch, Big Short, and others.
No, you got to be.
So is it worth visiting? It always is crowded. As you can see, there's like lines every direction. It's always fascinated New Yorkers, like visitors' obsession with this Wall Street Bull because we literally do not give it a second thought. It's said to be good luck if you take a picture touching the you-know-what area back here. And if you look, everything else is bronze except for the balls, which are like gold, and that's because everyone touches it. So is it worth coming down here, waiting in this long line to take a picture of the Charging Bull? Not worth visiting. Instead, why don't you come down here, go to Wall Street, see the New York Stock Exchange. You could pass by the bull if you want to see it, but really, don't come down just to see this. It's just not worth your time. New York City has 73 Michelin-starred restaurants and is home to some of the most iconic dishes in the world. Now, I've created countless restaurant and food guides, which will be linked below for more detail, but these next spots are absolute must visits. Sushi Nakazawa is my favorite sushi spot in the city, and it's no surprise it is excellent since it has a Michelin star. I recommend booking a seat at their 10-seat counter, though they do have a traditional dining room, but it won't be the same special experience. Here they serve flavorful and fatty cuts of fish at a more palatable price point compared to many of the city's other notable sushi counters. Enjoy a spectrum of sushi from Hokkaido cherry salmon and live Massachusetts sea scallop with citrus and salt, then move on to their outstanding uni, and finally a hand roll of fatty tuna chopped so finely it almost seems emulsified. This spot will make your taste buds want more. Pizza, of course! Get it at Lombardi's, Bleecker Street Pizza, Patsy's, Champion's Pizza, or honestly, any local pizza spot. Avoid big chains like Pizza Hut or Domino's. That isn't real New York pizza. Luckily, pizza here is great practically anywhere you go. The big choice you'll have to make is whether to buy a pie or a slice. I recommend the next thing on your itinerary be the Best of New York food tour that we run. This is because we bring you to all of the iconic spots, 5 places in Brooklyn. You're gonna get pizza, tacos, pancakes, and a lot of other things, solid portions. This is a 3-hour tour. You're gonna learn the history, you're gonna see the sights, and you're gonna get delicious food. What more do you want? We're here at Adele's Famous. This is the best halal food in the city. You wanna know how I know? Because of 1, the ratings, and 2, look at this freaking line. It smells incredible. I can't even explain that. You have to come here in person. They open at 6 every day, so this is a night food spot. And you can see the action here. Prepare for your taste buds to be happy.
So ready for
It's
this?
like 5 pounds of rice and chicken, and it's gonna be great, and I'm excited. All right, let's eat it, Louis.
This chicken looks so delicious. It's like really juicy and shredded.
Yeah, it's
We also got some lamb, I believe, is over here. And oh, look at this.
Pita bread.
Little pita bread over here. Yeah, okay. We're gonna dip that in the sauce. I got mine with spicy and the yellow rice and some of this sauce right here. Oh, it's like nice and spicy too. It has this really nice tang to it, kind of like a yogurt sauce, right? Which is pretty much what it is, so. Let's try chicken. Yeah, yo, that is so delicious. This, no lie, is like 3 pounds of food.
This chicken, delicious, show-stopping, juicy, fabulous, every word under the dictionary that is positive.
The rice has a really good flavor too. I thought it was gonna be kind of bland because usually you let the meats and the sauces speak for themselves, and the rice is sort of like sometimes a filler, but it's like a really good accompaniment for the food. But even the rice has like this really nice, not spicy spice, but like very good seasoning to it.
Los tacos numero uno. That's where Louis and I go more than any other restaurant. And you know it's good if Louis likes it, okay? You may not trust my opinion of tacos, but you can trust his. I always get the pollo asado and the carne asada. They get their guacamole. You can add some salsa on there. Get some horchata or rosa jamaica as a drink, you know. I like the rosa jamaica personally. That's my go-to. It's made with hibiscus flower. It's really yummy. They never let me down. It's always incredible. It's a quick spot, so this is a good price too. Eat up, delicious. Every place on the planet has their own style, and New York is no exception. Now, these are New York City etiquette tips that will help you blend in with the locals and make your trip way easier.
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is the subway, not letting people off the train when the doors open. It's usually not such a big deal if the train is empty, but when the trains are full, just one person standing there can practically cause a stampede.
It's true.
You're gonna get people cursing you off, and if you stand in front of that door when a herd of people are coming, it's gonna be a lot of trouble.
Disaster. It'll be a disaster. That, and then also I would add not moving in when there's a bunch of people trying to get on the train. These are just basic train etiquette rules.
Yeah. The number one way to be a bad tourist in New York would not be to show proper respect. At this memorial right here, the reflecting pools, there is nothing worse than seeing tourists taking smiling selfies at a place where you need to show respect, where you need to show decorum, where you need to understand what happened here, especially for children and people who weren't born at that time. You should have the same respect here that you have when you're visiting a cemetery. Smiling photos, no way. Really take your time here. I hate to see that kind of behavior anytime I'm visiting, and the native New Yorkers will completely back me up on that one.
Walking too slowly or stopping in the middle of the street, the sidewalk, to check your phone, to check a map, to take a photo. Listen, us New Yorkers, we're busy. We don't have time for that. We're always rushing everywhere. So it's a very simple solution. All you gotta do, if you gotta check your phone, if you wanna take a picture, just move to the side of the street. And if you're walking in a busy area, especially in Midtown Manhattan where Times Square is, just make sure that you're walking quickly. Now, walking quickly in New York, it's a quick pace, it's fast. This pace that I'm walking right now, this is not gonna do it. You wanna see a New Yorker pace? Are you ready, Lucas? You can't keep up with me. Look at this. This is a New Yorker pace. Do you see this? I'm not even exaggerating right now. I don't know if this looks fast on camera, but this is the pace that I walk. And this is the pace most New Yorkers want you to walk. Let's talk about tipping at restaurants or for tour guides or taxis, anything like that. The standard for New York City tipping is 20%. Yeah, I know, it's really high. But unfortunately, that's sort of reality, and that's because a lot of the wait staff get paid below minimum wage. The majority of their pay is actually through tips. So here's an example, all right? This is $82 this meal. So what I'm gonna tip on this is about $16. Now, unfortunately, the tourist areas in the city have a ton of them, and here are the 3 most common ones that you'll deal with. The worst one, in my opinion, is right behind me. It is the fake monks. They pretend to be real monks, and they apparently offer you some coin in exchange for a donation, which is really a donation to their pockets.
How are you?
Oh, hi.
Namaste. Buddha. Lucky luck. Yes, lucky luck. Namaste. Peace. Oh, Buddha temple. Your name.
What is
my
it?
Name.
For
Okay.
what?
Buddha temple. Buddha's temple. Name.
Oh, to build a temple?
Yeah. Name.
What,
My name.
can I see this? What
Okay,
is this?
Buddha temple. Buddha's temple. Oh, Buddha. Lucky luck. Yes. Your name.
Where's the temple?
Chinatown.
Where?
Chinatown.
Oh, in
New York.
Chinatown.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Buddha. Lucky. Donation.
Oh, okay.
Namaste. Oh,
Thank
Buddha.
you.
Donation.
Donation
Yes,
for,
donation.
oh,
Okay.
and do I get this?
Yes.
I get to keep this.
Yes. Donation.
Do you have change?
No $20?
I don't, that's literally all the cash I have. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. That was a scam if I'd ever seen a scam. Oh my God. He's trying to tell me that the temple in that picture was in Chinatown, New York. Try schooling a tour guide on Chinatown. There's nowhere in Chinatown, New York that looks like that. Look at this, look at this. Here they are.
All over the internet. We're not selling these. We're giving them out, asking for donations, a tip.
Oh.
Anything you give from your heart.
How about $1? Does that work for
I'm
you?
not a stripper, man. You usually get a 10 or 20, anything from your heart. I'll give you change. You do a 5 at least?
No, 5. No,
You can't
$1.
take $1, man. I'm not even trying to be funny. I came from Atlanta. I'm on television. Like, for real. I'm a real artist. 5, so there's 42 songs on here.
Oh.
So that's what I was saying.
Oh, I can only have it if I give you 5.
I'm not even like that. What I'm trying to say is, I'm a real artist. I came from Atlanta. This is not. It's not about the CD, it's about my music, right?
But $2, you know, it adds up.
I mean,
people gave you, look, there's dollars in there though, so it's okay.
It's about the money, but it's not here. But I know who I am. You know who you are, right?
You know, I have to say, like, I did feel a little bit like of pressure with that one because he wouldn't really let me go before giving him money. I gave him $2, which I thought was nice of me. Listen, I know how the internet works. You can get music online for free and the artist can get paid by streaming, and I like to support artists, don't get me wrong, but by saying, you know, most people give me a 20, that's kind of not really accurate. These guys apparently, for some what I hear, they ask for like a lot of money in tips, so let's see what actually happens when I try to take a picture with them.
For you, I take it.
It's okay, I'll just go like this.
We're doing for tips, okay?
Oh, okay. How much would it cost?
Nice tips.
Like, what do you mean by nice tips?
20, 10, it's
A 20? What about like $2?
$2?
No? What about $5?
Okay, $5, I'll make it for you.
$5 for everyone though?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Like $5 total?
Yeah, total.
Finally, let's talk a little bit about getting around the city. Now, after all of the information that I've shared with you is pretty much useless if you aren't able to transport yourself around. Now, here are the best ways to do it. The easiest way to navigate the city is by using the City Mapper app right here. Make sure you download this because it's very useful. It will show you which subways, trains, ferries, cars, walking, biking, all the different ways that you can travel throughout the city. The interesting part is it will price it out by cost. It will tell you how long it will take. It will tell you how many calories you will burn each way. It's just a very useful way to decide how to get around the city because sometimes the subway's the fastest way and sometimes biking's the fastest way or sometimes taking a car is the fastest way. You never really know. I love using the City Mapper app to determine this. Also, it has train time. So if you want to take the subway, you'll know when the next one is coming and you won't have to wait like 10 or 15 minutes. So 2 things to keep in mind while entering the subway is there's a green ball right up here. That green ball means that this entrance is open. If you ever see it red, that means that this entrance is closed, so you should find a different entrance. The other thing to keep in mind is some subway stations, in particular downtown Manhattan, you can only enter the downtown trains one side of the street and the uptown trains on the other side of the street. So when you're entering the train, make sure you look at that because you don't want to get in the subway and end up going downtown and not having an option to go uptown, which is what you really wanted to do. The bus fare is also $2.75 and this is payable with a Metro card or if you have exact change, and that is very important. You have to have exact change because the driver can't give you change. So remember that and be prepared if you're not using a Metro card. The bus stops are located on street corners that have a tall, long sign with a round emblem on the top that looks like a bus. There's one right behind me. You'll see the pole, and on the pole they have a route of where the bus is going, so pay attention to that. Ferries between the boroughs are $2.75 unless of course you're going to Staten Island, and then it is free, which is pretty awesome. Plus it's a pretty good view of the Statue of Liberty, but just a heads up, it does get very crowded. I know this is a tip that's shared everywhere. You can buy tickets to the other boroughs using the NYC ferry app or through ticket agents or the ticketing booth that's located on Pier 11 and Wall Street. There's also ticket machines at each of the ferry landings. There are 2 types of tickets that you can purchase single ride or 30-day. One of the most scenic ways to see the city is by bike, and for that I recommend doing a Citi Bike right here. The reason is because the other bike companies charge a lot for the whole daily pass, and Citi Bike has a pretty good offer. To rent a Citi Bike, all you need to do is download their app. Once you download the app, it will pull up a map and show you all the locations where the Citi Bikes are. And you want to focus on the ones that are green because they're available. So I'm going to click on that, and it says 6 bikes available, so I'm going to unlock the bike and it will give me a code. I'm going to enter this in right here. Then I could just pull it out. And that's it. One thing I just want to note is New York does have insane traffic sometimes, so just be careful with traffic when you're doing this. Also focus on bike lanes. It's just so much safer, it's so much easier. There's 2 main bike lanes on either side of Manhattan. The Hudson River Greenway is on one side. There's another bike lane all the way along the other side. Those are really great locations to bike. But one of my favorite ways is using the bike. Very scenic, a good option for spring, summer, or fall. I wouldn't really recommend winter though, because it's pretty freezing here. That isn't all you need to know. Check out my video on my 20 top things for visiting next. I'll talk about where to stay and other essential info.